Okay, so you've decided you want a little bit more help understanding what hip hop does to foster life's meaning. No problem, that's what the bonus reel is for, and that's what I'm here for. So let's get started with a few more examples about that. And we're gonna stay focused on examples in rap music. So let's talk about how lyrics explicitly raise the question of life's meaning. And we can do that with my own music. Earlier in the lesson, we talked about the song High Life, but we can delve deeper into the lyrics right now, specifically the first two opening bars of my verse in High Life. On that verse, I state you only have one life to live. That's all they give you to do it. You can bullshit your way through it or stay true. Now, at that point, I was going through a very difficult time in life. Because of the fact that I felt I had no one or nothing to be responsible for, I wasn't being responsible at all. I was living very reckless and very careless with my life. And I didn't really understand that everything that I was doing not only affected me, but affected other people around me. And that all these different actions or things that I was doing and getting into would be all that was left for people to remember me by. I had to take a deep look at myself and realize that if I wanted to be looked at in a real way, I'd have to start living in a real way. It was at that moment where myself and Pimp C decided that we had much more bigger things to live for and that we had to start carrying ourselves in a different way. Not only as artists, but as people. For ourselves, but also the people that looked up to us and the people that had love for us. Now let's talk about popular themes within rap music that include some of the same themes that are present within traditional religion. Now in this sense, we'll talk about the artist Kanye West, which of course we'll be talking about a lot throughout the course of these lessons. Now Kanye West has a song called Power, and we don't even have to delve deeply into the lyrics of Power. We can look simply at the chorus or the refrain in the song. No one man should have all this power. Now this is something that you don't normally hear from entertainers because most people get into entertainment for that power. There is a dynamic that lives between the person standing on the stage looking down amongst all the different people or followers that have come to see him perform. Even an artist like Kanye, who takes great pride in putting together an incredible production and standing very tall on that stage amongst his followers, understands that that very power can be intoxicating. And this very idea of power that the entertainer has over the crowd is very close to the idea of idolatry that we talk about within Christianity. It's very important that people understand the dynamic between the entertainer and those that come to be entertained, because there's a very thin line between people that come to follow you and people that can literally come to worship you. Word to Lil B. So now let's talk about how the conversations and insights of fans of hip hop culture can suggest this very function. We can look back at how earlier in the lesson I talked about the Free Pimp C movement. Well, there was also another movement that came out during that time, and that movement was UGK for Life. Now, how did UGK for Life come into fruition? After Pimp C's incarceration, many people suggested that the group UGK was done for because very few people had come from years of incarceration to be able to come back into the public and still have a fruitful career. I refused to buy into that notion. And so for me, it was frustrating that people were assuming that UGK was over and that Pimp C's incarceration meant the end of the group. I refused to buy into it. And so I came up with the notion of saying UGK for life in every verse or every interview that I was doing at the time. This let people know everything they needed to know about the relationship with myself and Pimp C, not only as individuals, but as a group. I sought to let people know that the connection between him and myself was still there, so that the connection that the listener had made between themselves and UGK was still intact and that we hadn't gone through all this trouble for nothing. UGK for Life as a following still lives and exists today. Okay, so with today's session, as well as this bonus reel, we've given you guys a few examples that take you a little bit deeper into today's topic. But for some of you out there, it still may not be enough. No problem. Take a look at the additional readings. Make sure you take advantage of the assignments, as well as the teaching assistant shout out. It's going to give you even more information. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next session. Peace out.